Welcome everybody to the Single on Stiletto Show. I'm Suzanne Oshima and I'm a life and love transformational coach and founder of Single and Stilettos. Today we have a very special guest, Tanya Marie Dubé, and she's a personal development training coach and published author. And today we are talking about thriving after divorce. And I love this topic because all too often I've seen where some of my clients feel like once they go through a divorce, it's like, oh God, this is so horrible. And it becomes some almost like survival mode. And we don't want to be in that state. We want to be in the thriving mode. So before we jump into it though, Tanya, I would love for you to tell the ladies how you became a personal development training coach.
Yes. Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much, Suzanne. I'll tell you really quickly. I grew up in foster care and I was in a foster home, one home that kept me from the age of 2 until 10. I was in 7 homes prior to that before I was 2 years old. That was a little bit of adversity for me. I grew up with a lot of psychology around me. If anyone here who's watching or listening has been through the system, you know that you're always around psychologists and social workers and the like. So from the time I was 12 until I was 18, I actually became a street kid, and I was living on and off the street trying to finish school. It was a little bit challenging, but I eventually had to quit high school when I was 17 years old and move out on my own and get a real job because I really couldn't live the way I was living anymore, living in closets, literally. I was living in cars. I was living in my friends' bedrooms without their parents knowing. Like, it was quite challenging for a solid, 6 years. I will tell you this, though. On my exit interview out of my high school, my guidance counselor gave me this entry-level university textbook on Psychology 101, and I was able to, eventually, I of course pushed it away at 17. I was like, I'm not reading this. What am I going to possibly learn out of this book? I had no idea everything I was going to learn. From reading this book, it's the thing that set me on a path of becoming a life coach at the ripe young age of 17 years old. Because if anybody knows about the law of attraction, what it is that you're manifesting and you're thinking about the most, you're drawing into your life. So this was it. People were coming to me out of the woodwork, everything I was reading, I was drawing it into my life, and I was able to then help. So I've been coaching now for 26 years, and this is how now I'm a personal development training coach.
Awesome. You were a coach before everybody else was.
Trading. I wasn't bartering for money. It was like food and trading for things like this. But yeah. It's been a long time.
You were a survivor, but now you're thriving, right?
That's correct.
And so I know you're an expert about this, about how to thrive after divorce. So can you tell the ladies how, and by the way, before you go into your tips about how to thrive after divorce, one of the things that I do want to mention is, ladies, if you've gone through a divorce, this doesn't mean right after the divorce, because I've seen where people can go through a divorce and still 5, 7, 10 years later, they're still in a mode where they're surviving instead of thriving. So this is anybody that has gone through a divorce. It doesn't mean recently. So I just want to make that clear, right, Tanya?
Absolutely, yeah. So myself personally, I've been going through a separation for the past 2 years, which is leading to a divorce this year.
Yay!
Finally. But I just want to say that there is definitely, there's a trick to doing this properly and in a healthy way. So should I just jump right in?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Okay, so my top 3 tips for dating after divorce. I'm going to say first, right out of the gate, is you have to recognize that there is an emotional cycle that you must go through. It's really, really, really super easy. And for anyone who's ever been through adversity, if you're the kind of person who just, like I was, you just sweep things under the rug, you pull up your big girl panties, and you just think, I'm just going to distract myself with something else, and I'm just going to go on and, move on to the next thing without thinking about it. The reason that we go through these things over and over and over again is because we didn't properly learn the lesson, or we didn't teach ourselves how to go through it the first time. Right? So I really, truly do believe that. So there is a cycle of emotion, and you're not necessarily going to go through all of them right away, and you might go back and forth, but, off the top of my head, it's, I do have notes here. It's denial. You're going to go through denial. This isn't really happening, or he's going to come back. I'm not really sure. You're going to go through anger, of being angry about the situation that you were in. You're not going to know how to filter through all of that unless you teach yourself to be still and to be calm and to be present and in the moment, right? You're going to go through this bargaining thing of, those conversations we have with God sometimes where we sit there and we say, if this could just be better, I promise I will do this. This is not a healthy way to go through something. You have to actually teach yourself, to go through the pain, because once you get through the pain, what's lying on the other end of that is a whole lot of freedom, right? Which is the goal, I think. You go through depression, accept that you're going to go through this, and it's okay. It's okay to be sitting in front of, a Hugh Jackman movie, crying your eyes out, drinking some wine, because you're going through the emotions and you don't know, just let yourself feel it. Don't self-medicate all the time. Like, just let yourself feel it and pull yourself out of it. There's a lesson in all of this for you about yourself. So before you rush into dating, go through those 4. The last one is acceptance. You're finally going to get to this place where you get it. You're going to wake up. It's going to be like a light bulb goes off over your head, and you're just going to wake up a different woman one day. And that's where the real work begins, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
So Tanya, I just have to ask, because I think it's important for the women to realize this. This isn't just if the husband wanted a divorce. This could be even if the woman wanted a divorce. She could still go through all of these emotions, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I was the one who left in my relationship. We were together for 18 and a half years. And one day I woke up and was just like, I can't, like this, I've tried everything. This has been going on for so long. It was very painful to be in that relationship for me. I have 2 children. I walked out literally with our stuff and our books, started over, and I went through all of this for an entire year. And it comes and goes in waves. Just understand that. So if you're not feeling one part of it, don't think you're missing something or that you're not going through it in a healthy way. Just understand that there are stages, and you're going to go up and down. You're going to feel angry today. You're not going to feel angry again for 6 months from now. It goes in waves, and just to ride the wave. Just be, a friend of mine said, another person that's gone through all of this said, just be a bobber. Just be a bobber in the ocean. Just be the buoy. It's going to come and it's going to go, and you're just going to have to ride the wave. So that's my first tip. Should I get into the second tip really quickly? Okay. So the second tip for before you start dating after divorce, in my opinion, is I really think you should take the time to fill the space in your life with things that you love to do. Get to know yourself again, right? Understand what it is that you love now. You're a different woman. You've been through a whole relationship, a whole lifetime with someone. And if you have children, that changes you even more, doesn't it? So there's going to be things about yourself that you need to rediscover. It's really, really easy to jump in with some guy. There will be some guy. But let me tell you what I think about attracting somebody when your vibration is really low. When you've got a low vibe, you're going to be attracting people who also have a low vibe. And do we want to go through the same relationship again with a different guy? Same guy, different face? Absolutely not. So this is why I always say be very wary of the friendships you make and the relationships that are coming into your life when your vibe is low. Work on yourself, get that vibe really high, because when you're like I always say, look at like a flagpole. Most people operate between the middle and the bottom because this is sort of what's comfortable or what we know. We want to get you to a point where you're from the middle to the top, because when you're having high quality experiences, you're meeting high quality people, and they're not going to be interested in messing with you. It's a different kind of life, right?
Exactly. Can I name this second tip, because the visual came to my mind is make this my me time. This is me time. And because before you were in a marriage and you were a couple, and so it was always about both of you or the kids, and make this me time and take care of you.
Absolutely. And me time times 10. If you've ever wanted to do something that you weren't able to do in your marriage, do it now. Now is the time. Right? Break out of your comfort zone. Have some fun with your life and do a lot of laughing. Don't take things so seriously, right?
Exactly. Okay, so what's your last tip?
Okay, my last tip is to practice optimism and mindfulness. For me, this is really big. So before I'm going to be attracting anybody into my life, I have to make sure that I know how to be optimistic about my life. So, and I want to practice happiness, and I just want to be mindful and present. And I've got 3 quick things I'm going to tell you that I do, that I've done consistently for the last 2 years that gets me out of a funk. Okay?
Okay.
So the first thing is I want you to think about what your language is. Your language in your head that you're saying to yourself and the language that's coming out of your mouth. If your language in your head and your mouth is, I'm awful, I can't do this is too hard, or the language about the world around you is everybody's mean, people are jerks, I don't know how to function like this. If that's your language, you need to look for the optimistic, the silver lining, and whatever it is you're feeling, and you got to start practicing optimism. Start practicing being a positive person. This makes all the difference in the world, right? The second thing I do is I look at what my body language is doing. So when I'm feeling, in a funk and I'm not really sure what to do, or I'm feeling lonely, or I'm feeling abandoned, all of these really negative kind of feelings, my shoulders tend to kind of go in, and my hands are kind of like down, like in between my thighs maybe, and my head's low, and I'm just feeling bad. When I notice something like that is happening to me, for me, if I put on Motown music and I get up and I start dancing, that's good for me. Or I start to sing or anything like that. Do something that gets you out of this space. So if anybody's ever heard of the Superman pose, where you puff out your chest and you put your hands on your sides and you look up, just stand like that. It sounds silly, but just stand like that, looking outside, and it actually does give you a little bit of, revitalization. So that's what I do. That's the second tip. The third tip inside of all of this is, where is my focus? If my focus is on how negative the situation is, especially because you're still going to be going through your divorce while you're trying to think about dating and changing your life. So where's my focus? Is my focus on how awful my marriage was, or how awful and scary these lawyer letters are, or all of the things that go with going through a divorce? My focus is not in the right place. My focus should be on something healthy. My focus should be on someone else who might need me. My focus should be on something bigger than my situation. So those are my three things. I call that the triad of emotion. Check that out. It helps you get out of any funk you're in, I promise.
I love that you said that, because it's so important, because it's so easy to go spiral downward and go down that path of negativity, and you have to pull yourself out. No one else is going to do it. And yes, it's very sad. It's horrible when these things happen, but you have to be self-aware and know how to pull yourself out, right?
That's the first thing. You have to. No one's going to do it for you. You're right.
Awesome. Well, these have been some awesome tips. So, Tanya, I know you have a free gift for the ladies, so can you tell them about it?
I do. I have this amazing free gift that I put together. So I've been dealing with teaching women how to get through divorce and separation now for a little while. I put together this free webinar. It's going to be an hour long of free training. It's called The 5 Things That Can Destroy Your Chances of Rebuilding Your Life After Divorce. I firmly, firmly, firmly believe that you have everything inside of you to get you from where you are now to where you want to be. So I've said this, a few times. Freedom is the goal. Freedom from the emotional entrapment, and freedom from the fear of the future, not knowing what's going on, learning how to date, all of that stuff. So I'm going to be going through these 5 tips. Suzanne's going to put the webinar link and the dates below for you, and I hope to see everybody there.
Awesome. So everybody, if you would like Tanya's free gift, just click on the link below the video. And if you're listening to the podcast, just go look for Tanya's interview on my website, singleonstilettos.com. So thanks everybody for joining us on the Single on Stilettos show. Our show is available both in video format and podcast format. If you'd like to view the videos, you can go to singleonstilettos.com, and if you'd like to get the podcast, you can download it from iTunes. And if you would like to get our free gift, the Secrets About Men video series, you can click right here on the video, or you can go to singleonstilettos.com.